going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 16 of the Downtown Browntown podcast. I am your host, Downtown Brown. Today, we're going to discuss the Bucks' four-game winning streak, specifically the win last night against the Pelicans on TNT, as well as some other news going around with the Bucks, and especially what's going on with the fans. Now we've got fans in there, when you can expect me to be at a game, and yeah, just talk all things Bucks here. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, the Bucks are going to be playing the Los Angeles Clippers Sunday on ABC 2:30. Going to be a tough game. I would be shocked if Jrue Holiday does not play in that game because he's missed 11 games now. But last night he was deemed as doubtful when all the other games he was deemed as out. So that's an encouraging sign. And quite honestly, I think the Bucks are just being cautious with him. I feel like he could have played last night. I really do. But I think they're just trying to get him to amp up his workouts and just get him back into a little bit more of playing shape, since he probably wasn't able to do anything when he actually was locked down. So I really think it's the Bucks just being cautious there. And I would be shocked if he doesn't play on Sunday. Obviously, I could be wrong. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, I expect Jrue Holiday to be in the lineup against the Clippers. Game that it would be really, really nice for the Bucks to win here before going to the All-Star break. We got two games after that, Tuesday against the Denver Nuggets, and then we close out Thursday on the road against the Memphis Grizzlies. So got the three pretty tough games here to close out. Grizzlies not as tough as the other two, but be great for the Bucks to win them all, obviously. 2-3, I would totally take that. But again, I think Jrue Holiday is going to be back in the lineup playing the Clippers on ABC. Going to be a great game. Kawhi, Paul George, and the boys coming to Milwaukee. We all know what happened last year when they came to Milwaukee. The Bucks just absolutely slaughtered them. They were up at 50 at one point during the game. That was Giannis's birthday, actually, last season, and what a great game it was. So let's hope we can repeat that, and the Bucks don't have to dominate like they did last time by winning by 50 or being up by 50. But again, just to get a win against the Clippers would be our best win of the season for sure. Would be great. So let's hope that the Bucks can pull that one off, and I expect Jrue Holiday to be in the lineup. Not quite sure about DJ Augustin. I would expect him to be in the lineup as well. Him and his wife gave birth to a child yesterday, I believe, so that's why DJ Augustin was out, deemed for personal reasons, obviously. So expect him to be back in the lineup on Sunday. I would think that he'll be back, but again, don't know the complexities there, so that one I'm a little more unsure about. But those are obviously the two Bucks that were out last night. The Bucks ended up starting Bobby Portis in place of Augustin, even though they're not matching positions. They ended up going with a bigger lineup in Dante, Middleton, Portis, Giannis, and Brook Lopez facing off against the Pelicans. What a great win for the Bucks, 129-125. Obviously, the first half, little to no defense, even in the third quarter there. But obviously, the fourth quarter, I think we clamped down a little bit and started to play some better defense. Still some breakdowns here and there, but I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, obviously, I keep having to say this. We're missing Jrue Holiday. We're missing Jrue Holiday. It shouldn't be the total scapegoat, but honestly, he's so important to this team, specifically on the defensive end. So I'm just not going to take too much stock into what's happening on the court without him. But again, great win for the Bucks. Pelicans have been playing well. They won 7 of their last 12 prior to losing to the Bucks. So a team that has definitely been on the rise. They came back from 24 down in the third quarter against Boston last Sunday on ABC. Ended up beating them. Zion has been playing like an all-star, and he is an all-star this season, rightfully so, I believe. So they got a good team. You know, they were healthy. Steven Adams was back in the lineup for them. They had all their guys going, and they can score points. They don't play much defense themselves, obviously, but still a great win for the Bucks. One of those back and forth games the whole time where I think that's just great experience for the Bucks, to be honest. We don't have a lot of those games where it's just, a couple possessions at most. Like the biggest lead I think either team had, the Bucks were up 8 at one point. But other than that, really, really close game. And I think that's just great experience for the team. Just Giannis said in his post-game interview with the TNT crew last night that it's great for them to be in these games where they're having to grind out wins, where the last 2 seasons they'd be blowing out teams, winning by 20, 30 points sometimes. And yeah, it's great because you're playing good basketball, but at the end of the day, just having to face more adversity and being more battle tested, being in these games where they're back and forth, and you're having to grind out wins specifically late in the fourth quarter. It's big for this team. It's going to be big in the playoffs. A lot of games are going to come down to stuff like that, and we all know the Bucks have not closed those games well in the last two postseasons. So I think it was very encouraging for them to go back and back to back. Just a battle of a game, and the Bucks pulled it out, and it was a great win for them. Your leading scorer is Giannis, 38 points, 10 boards, 4 assists, 8 for 10 from the line as well. He's been shooting 75% from the line the past month, so absolutely great progression from him. Hope to see it continue, and it really has. He's been having some of those big games with 7 for 21 on the line a couple games ago. I mean, Giannis is really dialing it in up there. He seems to have his pre-free throw routine kind of set now, where he's doing his little fake shot before the ball comes, and I think that's helped him, honestly. And again, as I pointed out a few episodes ago, that his release point is a little bit higher now, and it looks like he's just got more of a fluid routine. So great to see from Giannis. Middleton, 31 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, 2 for 4 from 3. A great game for Middleton, 14 for 24 from the field. He played really well. There was some stretches in the fourth quarter there where he was just getting buckets however he could get them, driving through the lane, little floaters, little mid-range shots, his turnaround shots, three-pointers, you name it. Middleton looked unbelievable last night, and he was a big reason why the Bucks won the game. And my boy, career game for him, Donte DiVincenzo, 24 points, 9 boards, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block. What a game for him. I mean, that's his first time breaking 20 points or getting 20 or more points. So just what a breakout game for Donte on national TV, on TNT there. It was great to see, and him having the play of the game on the last possession for the Pelicans, drawing that charge. The second last possession, the one being where J.J. Redick shot the 3 as the clock was expiring and he missed. But the real last possession for the Pelicans, where they had a chance to tie the game up, Donte takes the charge on Brandon Ingram after Middleton turns the ball over, where they just trapped him by the sideline there. The Bucks kind of looked lost in those, so they had a timeout on that out-of-bounds play. They called their first timeout because no one was getting open, and then the second one, it was a struggle for someone to get open, and Middleton just had a little bit of a gap there. We passed it to him, and they trapped him. 3 guys got on him and took the ball away from him, and the Pelicans just looked like they didn't know what to do, who should take the shot. I thought Lonzo Ball had a good opportunity to shoot that 3 when Brook Lopez was closing on him in the corner, but he doesn't even consider it. He literally just did a overhead pass to Ingram right away. He drives into the lane. Donte just comes and swoops in there and stands and takes that charge, and man, did he get drilled. But hey, we got the call, and it was so awesome to see. I mean, there's a really cool picture I saw on Twitter of Middleton and Pat picking Donte up off the ground after that foul, and they had the biggest smiles on their faces, and it was just great to see. It was a huge win for the Bucks against a team who's been playing really well, and what a game for Donte. I mean, I should have mentioned this earlier. I'm not going to talk about the last 2 wins before the Pelicans game as much, the win against the Timberwolves and the Kings, because there wasn't too much to talk about there. We dominated both of those games, winning by 20-plus points in both, I believe. The only kind of thing that we're seeing a little bit more of is the nasty Thanasis Antetokounmpo getting some more minutes here, and he played well in those 2 wins against the Kings and the Timberwolves. But I'll get to him a little bit later on what my stance is on him and what I expect going forward. I thought DJ Augustine's played pretty well with the starters since he's been in the starting lineup. They switched Bryn Forbes for him, and DJ he looks a little more comfortable. I don't think it's just that switch that made him look better. I just think he looks a little bit quicker on offense. He looks like he was able to get to the basket a little more and make some layups, which he has not been doing at all really this season. He's been trying to, but getting stuffed or just losing the ball. So I think he's looking a little bit better from that perspective. So those are some of the key things. And then one of the other things as well was with Donte. I think that he's really coming into his own in terms of getting to the basket and making some tougher contested shots at the rim. I think sometimes he just gets a little too sporadic and just like he just is an Energizer bunny. He's just like sprinting into the lane sometimes, trying to make something happen. It's like, dude, just slow down, let it come to you. He's got a good burst. Like he's got a nice move and driving ability to get to the basket, but I just think once he gets there, he kind of has a hard time scoring. And I thought these last 4 games, specifically these 4 wins that the 4-game win streak that the Bucks are on now after losing 5 in a row, I think he's finished at the rim really well, and it's helped this team start to win some games. So what a great game for Dante last night. Just great to see for him. I mean, he's been scoring really, really well the past few games here, and we hope to see that continue, because if he plays like this, Bucks are going to be really tough out in the playoffs. So we all know how he plays on defense. Great disruptor, gets in the passing lanes, is good at stealing the ball. He's got good hands. Is active on the rebounds, 9 rebounds last night. Man, it would have been cool if he had a triple-double, just 1 rebound, 3 assists away. But hey, what a great performance by him, and a true breakout game for him on national TV was awesome to see. So congrats to Dante there. Now let's get back to Thanasty here. Marcus Johnson is so funny. I love him on the broadcast, and he just says some hilarious stuff. Him coming up with a Thanasty nickname is just so perfect for him. So here's my stance on him. They had a stretch earlier in the season where he was getting right around 10 to 15 minutes a game and kind of just providing that spark, like a guy who's going to come in and just play his ass off all the time when he's out there. And sometimes it's completely out of control. We saw him almost take out 2 of our guys the other night against the Timberwolves, I think it was, and then he ended up grabbing the ball and like somehow it slipped up and it nailed Bobby Portis right in the face. It's like, I'm worried that he's going to hurt one of our players. I don't want him to hurt any of the other players on the other teams as well, but man, I mean, sometimes he's just a little too erratic out there. But again, here's my stance on him. So, like you said, he was getting that run earlier in the season, and then once we started playing some better teams, they were really exposing him on the offensive end, just not even guarding him, like 10 feet behind him, giving him an open shot, and God knows we don't want him to take that shot because we know what's going to happen. And he was just getting exposed. He was getting at that point on the defensive end where it was just like, yeah, his energy was great, but I don't think he's necessarily the best defender. I just think he plays super hard where he's just going to make plays. He's going to get rebounds, going to get steals here and there. He's great at getting those 50-50 balls. And you love a guy who plays like that. You just wish he had more skills. I don't think he has a very diverse skill set. But again, we started playing some better teams, and he got exposed. And then Torrey Craig started getting that run and kind of solidified that spot in the rotation a little more. And here's what I think is going to happen again. Thanasis, 8 minutes last night, was very ineffective. 2 travels in a row. Just didn't really provide much. -9 net rating. I mean, he didn't play well. And normally I feel like he's been getting a little more minutes than that, but 8 minutes just didn't really have an impact on the game at all. And I think his run is going to come to an end pretty soon here. Obviously, I could be wrong, but we got the Clippers coming up. We got the Nuggets coming up, who, when we played the Nuggets, that was the first game that Jrue Holiday was out for that road trip. Torrey Craig played really, really exceptional defense on Jamal Murray, and I'd like to see that again. He used to play on that team for the past 3 seasons, so he knows those players. He knows their tendencies on offense. So I would love to see Torrey Craig get back in there for that Denver game. And like I said, we play a really, really good Clippers team on Sunday. If Thanasty gets in there, I think they're going to expose him, and then Bud's probably going to turn back to Torrey Craig pretty soon there. So that's my prediction. I like Thanasis. I really do. He's Thanasty, it's just hilarious seeing him out there. He's just super fun to watch because he just does some funny stuff, just running full force all the time, trying to make plays. And like I said, sometimes it drives me nuts because I'm worried he's going to hurt someone on our team or he's just too sporadic for me. But again, I like him, I really do, but I don't really want to see him in the rotation consistently going forward. I think it was a great move by Bud to start playing him in that second game against Toronto when we were on that 5-game losing streak, because the Bucks didn't look like they were interested in playing at all. And Thanasis, of course, he's going to play his ass off. It's Thanasty. So I thought that was a great move by Bud, and obviously he was riding the hot wave. Like screw it, we were starting to play better and starting to win some games. That was the last game of the losing streak against Toronto there, and then we beat Oklahoma City that next night at home. So so I think Bud did a good job with using his bench and using the players that he has to, gain a little bit of advantages and get his team energized. And I think Thanasis did that, and I think his run is coming to an end here. So we'll see what happens Sunday and going forward, but that's my take on old Thanasty. Other than that, just a flawless game for the Bucks on the offensive end. I thought Brook Lopez played pretty well, protecting the paint as well, had a couple blocks. Still had a couple plays where he looked like he was lacking energy as well. There was one where Zion had like a clear layup or whatever. He missed it, and Brook was like right there to get the rebound. It just didn't look like he was trying. Zion grabs it back and puts it back up in the basket. Little things like that drive me nuts with Brook, but I still think he's valuable to this team. I still think he's going to be on this team going forward after the trade deadline. I think it's going to be hard to execute a trade with him. Like I said in last episode, I think that is one of the two most likely scenarios, though, is trading Brook Lopez if we can get salaries to match and that sort of thing. But again, I still think he's going to be valuable to this team. If he's hitting shots, he's going to be great, and I wish he would get involved in the post more. They tried him a couple times last night and just didn't look like he was just trying to take like these tough little floaters or like little fadeaways. It's like, dude, just try and back into the paint a little more and get a more favorable shot for yourself. I don't understand what's going on there, but I think he is playing better overall, specifically on the win streak. I mean, obviously when you're winning games, most of your players are going to be playing pretty solid, so it's coming around for a lot of the Bucks here. But again, I just think that he's going to be valuable to this team, specifically on the defensive end. His rim protection has gotten better over the last 4 games here, so we'll see what happens with Brook Lopez going forward. 2 other little notes that I think are really interesting is that the Bucks have 2 of the top 6 3-point percentage shooters in the league today. Coming in number 2 in the NBA, Bobby Portis at 50%. I mean, what a great player he has been for the Bucks. I mean, just can't talk about him enough and how much of a valuable player he is off the bench, specifically on the offensive end. And I think, like I said, him being able to switch on the defensive end is going to be huge for this team going forward. I did recently write another article for my boy Dylan Trapp's newspaper, Brady Street Banter. This one talking about trying to be patient with this team, and it's going to look ugly at times, and Bud is making adjustments, and that's the thing that we need to remember is that we've all got pissed at him for not making adjustments the last 2 postseasons, but now he's making them, and fans are getting pissed because we're losing games. I mean, yeah, I was obviously frustrated during the 5-game losing streak as well as some other games that we should have won throughout the season, but I'm trying to circle back to, hey, he's making adjustments, and he's trying to figure things out so that we can peak at the right time, which is in the playoffs. And one of those things that I noted in the article was playing a small ball lineup, Giannis at the 5, Portis at the 4, and then running 3 of our most athletic guys, probably Drew, Dante, and either Connaughton or Forbes. So that's something that I think the Bucks should be utilizing more going forward, and I think they will. It's going to be matchup specific. Obviously, a team like Philly, you're going to have to play a lot of Brook Lopez because Joel Embiid is a dominant force in the paint, and he can spread out and shoot threes as well. So that's a team where you're going to need a Brook Lopez to guard him. I think Giannis can guard Embiid, but I mean Embiid's a lot bigger than him, so it's going to be tough for him to do that. And Portis is not going to be able to contain Embiid either, so it's all going to be matchup dependent. You look at a team like Brooklyn, that's going to be more of a Portis team, I believe. These are 2 of the top teams in the East, so look, we got a few differences there. It's going to be more of a Portis matchup, playing that small ball, where they're going to probably run a lot of lineups with Kevin Durant at the center, going Kyrie, James Harden, Bruce Brown, and then TLC or someone like that, playing that small ball lineup where they have DeAndre Jordan on the bench. We'll see what they do at the trade deadline, obviously, and at the buyout market, but still, that's kind of what I'm seeing in terms of these matchup-based lineups that we're going to be running against the 2 top teams in the East, that being Philly and Brooklyn at the moment. So make sure to grab his newspaper and check it out. I think it'll be coming out sometime soon, so make sure to check out my article and let me know if you've got any thoughts on it. But again, going back to, sorry, I kind of tangent there. Bobby Portis, second three-point shooter in the league at 50%. Bryn Forbes, sixth in the league, I think right around 46%. So, I mean, two absolute slam dunk signings for the Bucks. I mean, getting Bobby Portis at the biannual exception for I think 1 year, $3 million, and then Forbes with a veteran minimum of $2.1 million. I mean, just great fits for the Bucks. They've really been playing well all season. Obviously had some ups and downs, but cool to see two of the Bucks on the top 6 of three-point per shooting percentage in a league that is turning into three-point league. So really cool to see there. One other thing I want to mention is that Jrue Holiday is officially eligible to sign a contract extension with the Bucks. We can offer him a 4-year, $135 million max contract. And there's no timeline for this as well. Like, we all know Giannis had that deadline of right before the season started, December 21st, I want to say, for him to sign that Supermax. But Jrue Holiday, this could lag into July. So gonna be the most vital thing for the Bucks to figure out here, besides their play on the court, is to get Jrue Holiday locked up. I mean, obviously, we can give him that contract right now. And that's a huge bargaining tool for them. I would be shocked if we give him anything less than a max, even try and offer him anything less than a max. I mean, just give him the money. I mean, we all know how valuable he is to this team, and we need him, because if we don't have him, we're screwed next season. We gave up so many assets to get him: Bledsoe, George Hill, 2 first-round picks, 4 first-round pick swaps. I mean, we got to keep him. So just keep an eye out for that. I have no idea what we're going to expect from a timeline perspective of like when we think he could possibly sign it. My gut reaction is that he will sign it. I just think that he really likes being in Milwaukee. He endorsed the move and knows that he's got a team here that can win, playing with Giannis, Middleton, 2 All-Stars. Obviously, Middleton not being an All-Star this year, but still being a 2-time All-Star. Jrue being a 1-time All-Star. You know, he's got 2 other All-Stars to play with, a back-to-back MVP in Giannis. So a great supporting cast as well. So I think that's the best bargaining tool we've got for Jrue. It seems like he likes Milwaukee as well. Giving away like a big portion of his salary to the community is awesome to see. So really hope that Jrue signs. And I think his wife has some family in the Midwest, or maybe even Wisconsin specifically. So these are all kind of things that you look to be like, all right, what are we going to do to convince Jrue Holiday to stay? And I think we've got a lot to offer him. And obviously, nice to see the Bucks get on this 4-game winning streak here. If we would have kept losing, I mean, that wouldn't have helped. But it's still a long season. You know, Bucks are 20-13, still got 39 games to go here. So we'll see how we finish out, obviously. But that's a super, super important piece of information for Bucks fans just to keep an eye on is Jrue Holiday is eligible to sign this extension any day now. And gosh, I really, really hope he does. Otherwise, we are fucked. So, yeah, so again, Bucks 20-13. Another news item here is that the second half of the schedule was released. So the Bucks' last game of the first half of the season will be Thursday on the road against the Memphis Grizzlies. Then we have a week break, coming back that following Thursday, the 11th, with the Knicks at home. So the Bucks are going to get a nice break. And obviously, as I said before, Giannis made the All-Star team, but Middleton did not. So we only have one Buck player going to the All-Star game in Atlanta. All the other guys will be able to rest, which honestly, would have loved to see Middleton get an All-Star appearance, his 3rd in a row. My opinion is that he was deserving, but I was not picking him to get in. I just, the Bucks have a little bit of voter fatigue, where it's like, okay, now they're 3rd in the East. They're not the best record in the league like they were the last 2 years. That alone, like, pretty much, like, forced them to get to, not forced them, but, like, it guaranteed they were going to get minimum of 2 All-Stars. And Middleton was averaging 20 points, so, like, he's going to get in. Obviously, Giannis was in, captain both of those years, so I'm not shocked at all that he didn't get in. Like I said, he was deserving, but there's so many players that are deserving. we just saw that Kevin Durant is going to be out through the All-Star break, so there was an open spot available, but Domantas Sabonis of the Indiana Pacers got it, and not Middleton. And congrats to Sabonis. He's had an absolutely phenomenal season, and the Pacers are right in the middle of that playoff hunt, fourth in the East. So I think he was deserving of it over Middleton, to be honest. So I'm not mad about it. I think Chris is a little down about it too. He thinks he was deserving, but you know what? It's okay. We just got Giannis going down there. Let the Bucks rest up and kick off that second half of the season. And I will be attending some games in the second half of the season. I just got an email saying that I'm going to get a 4-game package as part of my season tickets. So super excited for that. I'll be picking out that package next week, and cannot wait for that. I'll definitely be active on social media when I'm at the games and that sort of thing, and I'll be giving some feedback here in the podcast of just how the in-game experience has been, having the fans there. Seems like it's helped the Bucks the last 4 games here, so it's all exciting stuff, and can't wait to get back into Fiserv Forum and cheer on my Bucks. So thanks again for watching. Please do me a favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me on Instagram at downtown_brown33 and on Twitter at downtown_brown. Thanks again, guys, and go Bucks.